Yeah, so welcome and good morning, good afternoon to you, depending on wherever you're watching us from. Thank you for joining us. My name is Efia Pokia, and today I'm here with Elizabeth Hammond. She's the Director of International Admissions. Well, I think I didn't get let me get the proper proper title because
Assistant,
the Assistant Admissions Officer, right?
Assistant Director of International Admissions.
Assistant Director of International Admissions, and she works with Weber's University. So today, what we'll try to do, a chunk of our discussions will be to help you to pass your student visa interviews. We'll go into the admission. For instance, their school have got amazing programs. We will be looking at the program that you apply for that can offer you the best scholarships because it's not every program that attracts scholarship or funding. There are programs that will give you higher funding opportunities. We are here to tell you that. Will also help you to understand how, most importantly, because the feedback we've gotten from most of the students is they are getting the admissions, but the funding is the problem, and also to help you understand some of the general mistakes that people make when they are going for the student visa interviews. We are getting feedback for some of the schools, and people are editing their I-20. Their I-20 is the admission letter that you take to the US embassy for your visa interview. If you attempt to edit it, it will flag at the embassy. The embassy admission, the interview officers are specially trained. Please understand it. They are specially trained to identify when you are lying. So they'll look for your bank statement, and don't attempt to take any bank statement from anyone you don't trust. People are faking the bank statement, and the embassies have become aware of that, and they are giving us this kind of feedback. Don't attempt to edit your I-20, it will flag. And if you are interested in international admissions, be careful about what you're posting on social media. A lot of people are getting denied their student visa because of what they've said on social media. If you have attacked women on social media, it will flag at the embassy. Please be very careful. So, Elizabeth, let me welcome you to this discussion. Good morning, because I know you're in Utah. So, good morning.
Good morning, Stevia. Good
Great,
morning.
great. So, generally, let's look at the top. Like the most the high, or maybe like the most sought after programs that have a higher maybe funding opportunities for Ghanaian and maybe African students generally.
So, I would say for international students, once again, thank you for having me here. I'm happy to be here and share some of the little nugget that I know. Being Having been in this industry for a while, I was an international student myself, so it's different. Things have changed, and so I'm happy to be here anytime to share information with those that are genuinely interested in coming to the US to study. So, yes, there are some programs that are well sought out by international students. One of those, and it's not just Ghanaian students, international students in general. Those are STEM programs. So the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics programs are the most sought out programs here in the US when it comes to international students. A program like computer engineering, computer science, any type of engineering, automotive science, um, any mathematics program, some business programs. So these are the programs that most international students seek. The reason behind this is that once you're done studying in the US, the US government gives you a time for you to work in the US. If you study on a regular studied a regular program, it's usually a year. So let's say you studied English. That's not a STEM program. You get 1 year to work. If you did a STEM program, however, you would be given 2 years and extra to that 1 year, so making it 3 years of work time.
Also,
So most
with the same student visa, you can work for 2 years and
three
more.
years, 3 years
Three
for
years
STEM
and more.
programs. Most students end up working for 3 years, and by that time, your company would have filed for you, and you would have gotten your green card by then. And so, the STEM fields have become one of the most sought out programs Another benefit for that to the STEM program is also visa. Sometimes, not all these, Ghana is not an advanced country. And so some of these programs are not being offered in Ghana. So when you're going to the embassy and you're telling them, hey, I'm coming to study automotive engineering with a focus in electric cars, I don't think KNUST is doing that just yet. I don't think any of the universities in Ghana are doing that just yet. And so yes, there's a need
So you
for
are
you to go
likely to get your visa when you opt for
easily with
programs
that.
like that. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Especially now that now it's even a campaign issue in Ghana. Electric cars have become an issue, and we know that in the next couple of years there will be electric cars in Ghana. So
Mhm.
if you are studying that, you are very likely to get your visa. You're very likely to get funding for such a program too.
Yes. So reasons why students pick certain programs is sometimes is visa reasons, and also how long they can stay legally and work after. Um, the US doesn't make a pathway for you. Okay, so we don't have a pathway to citizenship through education. It's not that easy, but it can be done. And it can be done through programs like STEM and other fields, healthcare, things that is needed here, going into social work. They need people to do these kinds of jobs. So there are some fields that will make it easier for you to get a pathway than other fields. If you went and studied communication, I'm sorry, that was my major. There's not a path. When the U.S. government wants to give you, or someone is trying to ask the U.S. government to give you citizenship in the U.S., they have to prove that they can't find people to do that job. They have to prove those things, and so it becomes a little bit difficult when it is a generic major, and it becomes a little bit difficult for you to get the visa as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So it's very important. Focus on apply for the science, the STEM programs. I
and
think
program.
that's very, very good information because you have a lot of people sending me messages and they're like, oh, I've gotten admissions and I'm struggling. I went for the visa interview and I didn't get it. So the solution is what Elizabeth is telling you. Opt or apply for a STEM program. You're likely to pass your visa interview. You're likely to get funding. You're likely to sail through. And when you finish school, you're likely to find a job, and the company is likely to file for permanent residence for you, coming from a third world country. These are all things that we consider in applying. So let's look at some of the funding. Or do these STEM programs attract funding too? Because
Yes.
most of our people also can't afford the tuition. Do they
So
have funding or scholarship?
speaking, yes, speaking in general, we'll talk about my school later, but speaking in general, yes, some STEM programs attract some grants and some other funding. But once again, usually it's due to your academic prowess. How you did in school, most of the times helps you a lot or causes issues for you. I always say that in the US, for example, there are some schools that don't care if you got F in chains. They'll give you the admission. Sometimes what will affect you is scholarship. For example, my school has an open enrollment. We are open enrollment, which means everybody gets in as long as you have graduated high school, you get in. You have a high school diploma, you get in. But your scholarship is determined by how much how you did in school, how your WASI went. If you are transferring in credit, if you've done some university, if you're coming for a master's program, how you did in university. That's what determines how much funding you get. So it varies, but yes, there is funding for STEM programs. You just gotta find it.
Okay, so let's look at. I want us to draw more on the visa interviews because that's where a lot of the questions are coming from. But let's look at your school. You said that the STEM programs offer scholarships, funding, and as long as you have passed your SHS or WAEC results, you can get in. So let's look
Yes.
at that because we have a lot of people, a lot of parents especially, who want to get
Okay.
their kids in.
Well, let me do a quick presentation about my school. I will
Mm-hmm.
run through it really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I will show you what our website
First
looks
and
like.
foremost, do you have a target of this year? Like how many international students you want to admit? Do you have a target? Does your school have a
I work
target?
at a state school. We
Okay.
don't have a target.
So you
We
can
will be
admit as many Ghanaian students as possible.
many students
Okay.
as
Okay.
possible
Okay.
for undergraduate.
Mm-hmm.
However, graduate programs run differently. This is
Okay.
what we need to understand. Undergraduate programs, most of the times, are open enrollment and will make it easy for you to get in and all that stuff. Graduate programs are the ones that tend to be picky about who gets in, and they set a number of student admission limit. Most
Mm-hmm.
graduate programs do that.
Okay. So,
But
so when we say undergraduate programs are what we call degrees in Ghana. The graduate
first degree,
programs are the masters. We call them
yes,
masters in Ghana. So that's
yes.
what she means. Okay.
So
So now,
undergraduate programs like associate's degree, we used
mhm.
to call diploma in Ghana, and then bachelor's program, which we call yeah, first degree in
First
Ghana.
degree, yeah. Yeah.
And then the graduate level is all the master's program, all the different kinds of master's programs and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Okay. So I want us to, so if your school, Weber's University, if somebody, if Weber State, right?
Weber State,
Weber
yes.
State, Weber State. I always
Yes.
pronounce it wrongly. Weber State University. So
Okay,
if
so
there's a
yes.
Ghanaian young man who has SHS or WAEC results
Mhm.
and he did very well, or if he has maybe a degree from Legon or one of the universities and he did very well, you are saying that he can get an admission and still get funding in your school.
Yes. So in my school, all undergraduate international students are automatically assessed for a scholarship. So at the time when I'm admitting you, I automatically assess you with your WAEC. If you want to know how that works, there's a website called Scholaro. Go there. It's a free, they have a free service for you to calculate your GPA
Mhm.
into the US standard. And
Your
then
your WAEC GPA.
well, we use GPAs to make decisions
Okay.
on scholarship for my school. And so we will calculate your GPA, your WAEC grade into an American GPA. And then
Oh,
that's what we will use to make admission scholarship decision.
okay. So
Like,
Weber State accept WAEC results.
yes, we do.
Okay.
We do. We
That's very
accept
good
WAEC.
because a lot of people were going back and forth. People were frustrated. So Weber State University accepts WAEC results.
We accept WAEC
Yes,
results,
yes,
but
yes.
because of a lot of the fraudulent documents we've been receiving, now you have to add you have to give us a scratch card for us to be able to decide to look and then be and verify to make sure that the scores you've given us is genuine. If you give
So,
me one score and I go on WAEC with a scratch card and I check and it's giving me a different thing, you are banned from my school. You will never be admitted in my school. The first time we catch you faking documents, that's it. It happens. I have students that are on my list that are banned forever. We will never admit them. They will never get in because they faked one document or the other.
wow, that
So
I
yeah,
think this is a very important information. So if you're seeking admission, do not attempt to fake any document because what she's saying is that if you fake your WAEC results or any document, bank statement, whatever, you are banned for life. But if you don't and you get in on your own merit, and they are very charitable, it's an open admission. They will take anybody, okay, for undergrad studies. They will take you, and automatically, once you're an international student, they put you up for funding. So you're entitled to scholarship automatically. And I have given her a couple of students who already 8,000, even from the beginning. You have 8,000 scholarships starting off, and that's Webers State University. So it's very important that you take note of what we are talking about. We'll be coming to the visa interviews and some of the mistakes that people make, which is why they don't get a student visa, because we want you to get your student visa. If you succeed, the entire Ghana succeed, because we've seen so many people who just went abroad. I spoke to this professor this week, Professor Oforiata, who went to America as a student, also got in with the funding, and now his whole generation is changed. His children, his grandchildren, all of them, they have farms in Ghana. One person. Look at, you see the chain of successes that it has impacted his family. So that's why we're here to help you to succeed. So Elizabeth, let's go into the other issues, which is, let's go to your school.
Okay.
Take us through the tour. Mm-hmm.
Yep, I can walk you through my presentation. It will be quick, and then we'll look at our website. We'll talk a little bit about the cost of attendance, and then how much scholarship I can offer at the time of admission. And then we'll take questions. I'm happy to talk more about the visa issues most people are facing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
So,
Before that, someone wants to know the name of the scholarship. Scholaro. We said Scholaro. If you go to Scholaro, it's online. It helps you to assess your GPA on your own. If you are
it
doing
helps.
graduate
It helps.
studies or masters, it's good that you send your transcript to Wes
Yes.
for them to
Oh,
evaluate for you.
Colaro is just to tell you what your grade is as a GPA in American GPA standard.
Mhm.
Different countries have different ways of calculating GPAs. Scholaro gives us it will help you calculate it into American standard, which is
Mhm.
perfect. But you don't use information. You know, oh, after WASI, I have a 2.5 GPA, and then you can work with that.
Okay.
If you want credit, any university credit, any tertiary education credit from our institution, you need a WES report. Now, there are a lot of universities out there that don't ask for WES. That's because they have in house translation services. So they
Yeah.
have people they've hired who do that. Unfortunately, my school, we don't. And if we add that to my work, it will be too much. So
Yeah.
we ask for
Yeah.
WES translations for us to be able to, process your admission, award you credit, and use that to give you in-state tuition for graduate students.
Mhm.
So we'll go through the presentation now. Weber,
Okay.
Weber State University is located in Ogden, Utah. So if you've heard anything about Utah, Utah is in the middle of, the country, Middle West. And if you've heard anything about the Mormons, we have a lot of LDS Mormons in Ghana right now. That this is where they
If
are.
you say LDS, people won't understand. You say latter days. People know
Latter-day
them as
Saints.
latter days. Yeah.
Yes,
So Utah is a latter day state. It's a very rich
Utah
state. They have
is
money in that state. Yeah.
Utah is the Latter Day Saints. Utah is a Latter Day Saint, and if you've met most of the Latter Day Saints people in Ghana, the ones wearing the white and wearing the tie
Black tie.
and riding bicycle and evangelizing, this is where most of them come from. Utah. That's where the entire state is a religious state. It's full of Mormons. I can say 80% of the people that live here are Mormons, or Latter Day Saints people. So that's a little fun fact for you to share. Maybe if you go for your interview and they ask you, why did you specifically pick Utah? Well, maybe I'm a Latter Day Saint or whatever. If you are, be honest. Ogden is north of Salt Lake, so we are in the northern part of Utah. Utah is blessed by a lot of mountains. We are surrounded by mountains. We literally live in a valley. It's full of mountains.
Like Kwewu is the Kwewu of America. So
It's no joke,
it's
sister.
the Kwewu of America.
When it snows, it's so beautiful. When you see the snow on the mountains, it's the most beautiful thing. But aside from that, I'm afraid of the mountains. So yes, we are surrounded by mountains, both on the west and in the east. So um, you can see where we are. We're close to Idaho. We are close to Vegas. We are close to Colorado, and we are close to Wyoming and then Arizona. We are in the middle of all those interesting states. A little fun fact about our school: we have 29,000 students. I think now the number is actually 30. But fiscal year in July, on July 1st, we will have the official numbers out.
How
Um,
many of them numbers are Ghanaians or African students or international students?
we used to have 7 Ghanaian students, and we lost.
7.
We used to have 7, and we lost one.
Oh, sorry.
We lost one student. They left. They went to another school.
Oh, okay.
Um, It's mostly American citizens, but we have 500 and something international students total.
Okay.
So we have a good body of international students coming from all over, um, the world.
Okay.
So yeah, we have over 225 degree programs. So for undergraduates, we have so many programs for you to
Can you
choose
show us a
from.
list of those programs? Can
Yes,
we?
I will. We'll,
Okay.
we'll, we'll we'll take a look at that. We
Mhm.
have so many different programs at Weber State for undergraduates. And then we have for graduates programs, because we are a state institution. America, they structure a lot of things, okay? So there are like maybe 6 state universities here in Utah, and mm, they've been told what to specialize kind of in.
Mm.
So my school is not really, it's not, our focus is not graduate education, not really. Undergraduate mostly. Yes, we have some graduate programs. We have 18 graduate programs at the moment, and I will tell you what those programs are. So one of the good reasons why you should choose Weber State is the most affordable um, state institution in the state of Utah. Okay, we are the most affordable in the entire state of Utah. Our non-resident tuition is just a little bit over 17,000. That's tuition. All
So
those
the
things.
tuition. Mhm.
Yeah. So our tuition is just a little bit over 17,000, and we do have scholarship opportunities available for all our students. Okay. Another reason to choose Weber State is our quality education, quality programs. Um, we have quite a good range of programs for students to choose from. We have a lot of clubs and organizations so that school is not just about schooling, and you can get some other experience. You learn both inside the classroom and outside the classroom, and that's one benefit about studying in America. The hands-on practical experience is one of the best reasons to choose to study in the US, and Weber State does that very well. Another reason is our class size. We have a 20-to-1 average class ratio. So, like how, in Ghana, you go to the lecture hall and it's like big and there's so many people in there, and then there's just one professor in there. We don't do that. It's very small class sizes. So your professors will know who you are and you will know your professor. They will know your name and they will call you. That's all good. It helps with your studies. It helps you understand. It helps you interact in class so you get better at what you're studying. So class size is small, and that matters.
It does matters.
Yes.
It does matter.
These are the different colleges that we have. We have the College of Engineering, our College of Science, um, our health professions, our education, our behavioral science, arts and humanities, and business and economics.
Okay.
Like I said, we have over 150 or 200 and something plus bachelor's degrees to choose from. We have 59 associate's degrees. And like I said, associate degrees are those diploma programs, what we used to call diploma in Ghana. Then we have 31 master degree programs, and then 3 doctorate programs. We also have certificate programs. But
Oh, okay.
unfortunately, for international students, you cannot come here on an F1 visa to get to study in a certificate program.
Hmm.
You would have to come here on a visitor's visa and take that class. You
Okay.
cannot get an F1 visa on a certificate program. Okay.
Mm.
So, can you all see this?
No, I think people can see. So let's run through it.
You can see the presentation at
Hang
all?
on. No, we can't see, but the font size are small. Okay, hang on.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
so we
no
can see
worries.
now. We can see now. So you
Okay,
can speak to it. So these are like
a few of the
engineering.
programs. Yes, these are a few of our programs that are listed on our website. Like I said, there's 200 and something plus. If you go on our website, www.weber.edu, you will find all the programs over there. So these are the different programs we have under the different schools that I listed earlier. So if you look at the College of Engineering, Applied Science and Technology, which is STEM, where a lot of the students, a lot of international students are looking for classes from, and the College of Science, you can see we have automotive science, automotive technology. I would highly recommend that program if you are a technical person and that's what you want to do. It's like learning how to be a mechanic for like
Okay.
very fancy cars.
Mm.
They have Teslas on campus that the students work on. They have all different kinds of cars. So, anyways, if you look at the general studies, we have the people that have not really decided what they want to study, and they come in and then they take classes here and there and figure it out.
Mhm.
Um, in the sciences, we have the chemistries, the biologies, the botanies, the microbiologies. In the School of Education, we have childhood education, PE teaching, physical education teaching, nutrition, family studies, and all those things.
Mm.
So if you go on our website, you'll find a lot more in-depth information about the different kinds of programs that we have. Like I said, we have
Okay.
so many of them.
Okay.
All right. These are the graduate programs that we have.
So these are master's programs, right?
Yes, these are the master's programs, the most popular master's programs with our international students
Mhm.
that we have. Some of these programs are very generous. In the Master of English program, MED program, um, we have a student from Nigeria that's here on practically full ride.
So 100%
So
scholarship, right?
a Nigerian student, yeah, she's here on a full ride and she teaches classes and all that stuff.
Mm.
So many scholarships that like the college really wanted this
But
student.
wouldn't you advise the because we spoke about STEM that people
Oh
should
yes,
focus on say computer
no,
science, there's
yes,
data science, there's
yes.
health administration. Somebody asked a question about health administration. There's health administration, there's computer engineering, professional communication, English, and then what else? Let's go on.
Athletics training.
Mhm.
So these are the most popular programs with our international students. That's why we
Mm.
list them. These are the
Okay.
ones that our international students want, and these are the ones that they are getting in-state tuition for.
Mhm.
Our
Okay.
graduate programs gives you in-state tuition
Okay.
if you get a scholarship with them. If
Mhm.
your grades are good enough for them to give you a scholarship, you're paying in-state tuition, which is very cheap for international students.
Okay.
Okay. Um, mm, yeah, I'll say that would be the most important part, and I will talk about the cost and the scholarships. So,
Okay.
if you can share the screen, I can
Okay.
share. I can talk about the scholarship
Okay. So that's the
for.
scholarship. Mhm.
This is the different scholarships that we have available for international students, and you can only get one of these. So it depends on your.
You can't get two. Let me highlight it.
We
Okay, so
can't
this is the
combine.
scholarship.
Mhm. We can't
Um,
combine. We can't combine any of these scholarships.
mhm. So Elizabeth, let me let people focus on that. So please, if you are watching us on YouTube or Facebook, please pay attention to this. This is the scholarship that you will get. Focus on it. So it's for freshmen. Okay. So it depends on for instance the areas, with the GPA
So
percentage is
yes.
there, the amount of year you get and the total value. So you can get all the way up to $32,000 scholarship. Is this is good news. This is good news. Go on.
So yes, based on your GPA, when we calculate, we will award you one of these scholarships. Most of our international students, I must say, end up with this $8,000 scholarship. Most of them. I've been in this school almost 2 years now, and I've not awarded anybody a $4,000 scholarship. Your GPA must be atrocious for you to get that. So most of our students end up getting that $8,000 scholarship. And that scholarship is available for you every year for 4 consecutive years. Okay, for 4 years. As long as when you're in school, you maintain your GPA with a minimum of 2.5 GPA. If your GPA drops below 2.5, you lose your scholarship. You don't want that. I know there are students on my campus that even when after they've gotten the scholarship are able to find other scholarship opportunities on campus. Okay. This is for transfer students. So if you already have a degree, okay, if you have an HND or something, or a diploma, something, you've done some college work, you've done 1 year of university in Ghana,
Mhm.
and you want to transfer credits to us, you will do a WES evaluation. and we'll use the GPA that West gives us to award you one of these scholarships.
Okay.
For transfer students, it's 3.2 for you to get the $8,000. It's much higher for you to get this scholarship with the transfer students.
So those who have diplomas from Poly and other places, if you're coming in, if you have a GPA of 3.2, you get 8,000 scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you
For
have a GPA which is a 3.0 to 3.19, you get 6,000.
1,000,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
So this is what it looks like. The
And that
undergrad.
comes all the way to, say, with a GPA of 3.2 plus, it comes in a year, you are getting in 4 years, you get $32,000 full
Yes,
scholarship.
yeah.
32,000 scholarship.
It's not called full scholarship.
It's
Let's
not
not
full
confuse them.
scholarship, but at least $32,000 is a lot of money.
Yes, for your 4 years, if you get your 8,000 every year,
Mhm.
4 years, it would be $32,000 total
Okay,
that you would
okay,
have. But
okay.
when you get your I-20, for our school, you only have to demonstrate funds for
Mhm,
just 1 year. So
mhm,
we would just be calculating just 1 year funds and
mhm.
all that, and that
Oh,
will be next. I will show you guys that. These
okay.
are a few of our international students. Like I said, we have 500 plus international students now. That number needs to change, from over 60 countries, and they're doing fun things. Um, International students are allowed to work whilst they're studying in the US.
Okay.
Okay, you are allowed to work on campus for 20 hours whilst you're studying in the US. When the semester is off, it depends on your school's policy. It could be that your school will let you work full 40 hours, or they will let you work only 29.5 hours. But during the school semesters, you're allowed to work up to 20 hours on campus. Most students in my school have a job. Most international students in my, like, 99% have jobs. The 1% that don't have jobs, they don't want jobs because their parents send them money, which is fine. Or they are from one of the Arab countries that pay their school fees and gives them a stipend, so there's no sense for them to work. They don't want to work. They have money. They're fine. After graduation, you're allowed to work anywhere in the US as long as you find a job that is related to your field. It's called OPT. And that's the 1 year thing that we were talking about in the beginning. 1 year. If you are a
Like
STEM
you have
major,
a work permit to work for a
yes,
year,
you get a work permit to work for a year. If you're a STEM major, you will get 2 additional years to that. So that becomes 3 years for
three
you.
years.
For STEM majors, it's 3 years.
Mm. I think it's very important that as Ghanaian students, we focus on these things. It's very important. So instead of applying for English and all those things, please don't waste your time. If you can do any of the STEM programs, please do that one. You know, we are from a third world country, so we're looking for maximum benefit. So if you do a STEM program, you get work permits to work in the US for 3 years
By
instead of
then, your
doing
company would
English.
have filed for you. By then,
And it's likely the company will file for you to even get your full green card. So don't waste your time on English if you can do it. And of course, assess yourself if you can do it. All right. Do a STEM program that can get you a work permit for 3 years and get you a permanent resident. All right. So if you can't do that one, and even that, if you do a STEM program, you are likely to get more scholarship for STEM programs. You've spoken about this program. We used to call these people FITA in Ghana.
automotive,
It's a
yes,
STEM program.
they're the
Please
ones
don't call them
choosing the
fitters
money now.
again. Mechanics. Their study is a STEM program. So if you have even some kind of likeness for fitting work, mechanics, and all that, I would advise you get to one of these TVET programs, get a certificate, or even maybe a poly, get the certificate. It's an associate degree. Use it to get into the STEM program, get your scholarship. After that, get your 3 years work permit. You are gone. Hmm? Your entire family's life will change. This is
One
generational thinking.
one another benefit about STEM programs is that finding jobs are easier. It's easier to find a job in the STEM field. I'm not kidding. Our computer science major students, our the most popular computer related program for international students, computer science, computer engineering, and cybersecurity.
Mhm.
Those students find jobs like this so quickly. Utah has also become a hub for a lot of tech companies. So there are a lot of companies here that you can work with or work for that will, hire you on the spot. You can find an internship with them and hopefully continue with them when you've graduated.
Okay.
So these are some of the things you
I
should
think we
consider.
spoke about these Ghanaian boys who were in your school who were being chased by Deloitte and Touche. And I think the other, what was the name of
Goldman
the other
Sachs.
company?
Goldman Sachs.
Goldman Sachs. These are Ghanaian boys. They went to school because they did a STEM program. Big companies went to Weber State, and they are chasing after these Ghanaian boys to employ them. And indeed, they have employed them and they are filed for them. You see,
Yeah.
you can change your life with education. So don't joke. We'll be answering all your questions. So I'm gonna finish the point you're making, and then we'll come to the
Yeah.
visa
Yes, we'll
visa
do the visa
interviews.
questions after. So our application process is pretty simple. It's online. You attach all your documents online. There is a $65 application fee that will never be waived because we are a state institution. A private institution is more likely to waive your application fee than a state institution. My school, unfortunately, will not waive your application fee because we're a state institution and we get audited by the state. So everybody pays the $65 application fee. Please don't email me after this and ask for application fee waiver. It will never happen. I can't give it to you, even if I wanted to. Your educational transcripts, of course, thankfully in Ghana, our educational transcripts are in English. So you just need to attach them. We don't really need your high school transcript. The one that your high school gives you, what we've learned is that those documents get forged a lot. And so, like I said, we'll take your WASI, which is a more credible institution, and we'll take a scratch card with them. Doing a university script, you don't even give me that. You do WES. You go to WES, you get that evaluated, and WES will send that to us. We need financial documents with a minimum of, let's say, $28,000 in it. At the time of admission, that's the minimum money you should show us, 28,000. You will get scholarship, but you need to show us that amount of money. Okay. You need to send us a copy of your passport. And English proficiency is needed for all international students. Well, except the British people. But for Ghana, I can waive your English proficiency if you scored B in WAEC, English
In
WAEC.
English, okay.
If you scored B in English WAEC, we will waive the English proficiency requirement.
Okay.
And we accept scores from any of these schools. I have seen Duolingo as the easiest one. The Duolingo score is now 95, by the way. I've seen Duolingo is the easiest one that our students take. Okay.
So
Um,
Duolingo is free. It's
it's not
free online. So download it and do it, and
no,
it will give
it's
your.
free for practice, but the
It's free
test,
for practice. Okay.
yes, the test is $60. It's the cheapest test between the IELTS and the TOEFL.
Mhm.
Duolingo is the easiest. You can do it at home and all that stuff. So most of the students end up using Duolingo anyways. For graduate programs, when you're applying, your graduate program will have its own requirements. They will assess your bachelor's degree from your country. That's why you need the WES. You need at least a 3.0 GPA from your undergraduate degree. At least a 3.0 GPA for all our graduate programs for them to admit you in there. Some programs ask for the GMAT or GRE. Some programs don't. Some will waive it for you. Some will not. Some have an English proficiency. If you're able to convince them that, hey, there's a Ghanaian student right now that's studying social work, Master of Social Work. The program waived her English because the lady, the admissions person in that graduate school said, this student's communication and everything it's perfect. They speak good English, they write good English. I don't need it. They didn't ask for the English proficiency from them.
A
So
lot,
the
a lot of the schools are not asking for it now for Ghanaians. Yeah.
yes, a lot of schools are not. A lot of schools waive it for Ghana. Unfortunately, my school is not because there are also there are Ghanaian students that do very well, and there are also some Ghanaian students that cannot even complete a sentence. I'm
Yeah,
not
we
kidding.
we spoke about that student. That was terrible. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
caused that one student has made it so hard for me to convince the higher ups to waive the English. I'm not kidding. We had one Ghanaian female girl could barely construct a sentence,
Mm.
couldn't pass into any of the English classes, but they still made it here in the middle of the pandemic somehow. They got it here. They got here, and it hasn't been good for us. So we can't waive the English proficiency because of that. But there are a lot of schools that will waive it for you. So
Yeah.
do your research and find a school. If you don't want to take the exam, find a school that will not ask for you for
Mhm.
it. Um, so this is the little breakdown of our tuition and cost of estimate. That $8,000 you will subtract it from tuition and fees. Okay.
So the scholarship you get, you take it out of this one. So
Yes,
you get a scholarship, so that will offset the total 27. So that means you pay maybe say 19,000.
a year,
Yeah, because they will
and
take
you
away 8,000 will be scholarship
eight
that will be
thousand
given to
dollars.
you. Okay.
Yes, and then so let's say they take out 8,000 out of this 27,836 is you're left with 19,837, and that 19,000 gets split into 2 semesters. So 19,000 divided by 2, that's how much you pay for one semester.
Mhm, mhm.
Weber State also allows you to break up your payments. Okay,
So you can pay it like we say in Ghana, small, 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 small.
in
Okay.
installments, in
In
four
installment.
installments for each semester.
Mhm,
Every month they'll split up your bill, and then every month you pay something,
mhm.
so that it's not everybody that has the money sitting in their
Yeah,
account or is
yeah,
from an
yeah,
oil rich country.
yeah.
This is how most of my students are able to pay their fees. They all
Okay.
mostly have um
And I like that because some schools don't allow you to do this installment payment. So it's very difficult for parents. And in Ghana, we have a lot of single mothers. There are mothers who are in the market, who are raising children. If it's an installment, and this one is installment, so your mother can pay maybe thousand, you can pay it, and then you by the time you have finished the school, because already you are getting 8,000 scholarship. 8,000 scholarship. Okay. Can we wrap up on that and come to the student visa?
yes.
Because a lot of people are still sending questions about the student visa
Okay,
interviews.
we're done.
So,
Please take a
so-
screenshot of this if you highlight this one, so they can
okay,
take a screenshot and they
okay.
can find our
So you
email
can scan
and
this.
find our website. You can scan the QR code, you can take a screenshot, visit our website, email us at that number. Okay, we can do the visa questions now.
Okay. So let's come to the student visa because a lot of people are going to the embassy for interviews and they are getting denied. So let's look at the basic mistakes that people are making, which is why some are getting denied. And then we'll answer the questions. Yeah.
Yes. So for visas, it's very hard to pinpoint these reasons. But one of the most common reasons is them just thinking you don't have an intent of coming back. Um, that's when you go and you get that letter, that paper they deny you with. That's essentially what they're saying. You don't have any ties, and we don't think you will come back. So you have to your goal is having them to believe you that you will definitely come back.
Mhm, mhm.
And how you do that is sometimes from the program you're studying. If it's a program that definitely you can come back to Ghana, establish a business, and make it, yes, that's helpful for you. Sometimes you can establish it. Those coming to do masters and stuff. If you have a wife, children, if you have a family, you're leaving your family. You'll be back. Those things tells them you're not going to abandon your family. You're gonna come back. So there are different ways to show those ties. Um, for undergraduates fresh out of high school, okay,
Yeah.
fresh out of high school, it's easier for you to get that visa. Right outside high
For the
school,
for the SHS people, it's easy for you to get the visa.
very quick for you because you finish high school. Your next progression is university, and
Mhm,
you've chosen America to go to.
mhm.
Unless you go there and you are unable to talk, tension chink or when it comes to visa.
I
When
know.
when they are there in front of the people and talking to them, it's so impersonal. I agree. The whole process is a little bit impersonal. You're
Mhm.
sitting in some box and you're talking to them, and other
Yeah.
people can hear what you're saying. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little bit impersonal. There's mad tension. A lot of people come under tension.
Mhm.
If you're able to talk for yourself, right out of high school is the perfect time if you really want to study abroad for you to, work on that.
Mhm.
For graduates, It helps if you have graduated, done your national service, worked a little bit, have some work experience, and have a reason why you are now wanting to go get the graduate degree.
Mhm.
So maybe I did, accounting. I ended up working for GRA, for national service, and then I moved from GRA to Deloitte, and I've been working with Deloitte for a while. And now I want to get a master of accounting. There's a
That
reason.
sounds convincing.
Yeah.
They will give you the visa.
Yes, it
Mhm.
helps. It
Mhm.
helps you. So there are different ways. Sometimes also your bank statement that you're taking, it might have already been to that embassy. That counselor might have already seen your
Mhm.
your bank statement before you got there because someone used it last week.
Yeah.
So let's be careful with the doc. When it comes to documentation, please let's be careful.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
there are specific questions I can answer, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay.
these are some of the things that I
So,
think.
so when they ask you about how do we know that you come back, how should you answer? Because that's one of the things that you said. You have to tell the visa officer who is interviewing you that I will come back. But how do you think you should answer? They want to know what shows that you would actually come back.
Yeah. So in your statement, in the reason why you chose this program, I chose automotive science because electric cars are the future, right? Right now, electric cars are the future. And
Mhm.
even though my country seems to have electrical problems, I hope that by the 4 years that I'll be done, my country will have that figured out, and I'll be
Mhm.
back here to start my own business, working on electric cars.
Mhm.
You
That's a
just
good answer.
you
Okay.
need to give a reason. You need to give a tie.
Mhm.
You need to give a reason why they
Mhm.
should give you that visa.
Okay.
For the for the right out of SS students, yes, it's usually easy for them to get visas, but it's also easy for them to be denied because you don't have any ties. When we talk about ties, you have zero ties. So that's
But
usually.
for such a young kid, at least they have parents. Your parents are there. If your uncle maybe is supporting you in the application process, or your mom has added her bank statement to you, your mom even took you to the interview, would that not help?
we've we ask the US consul services
Mhm.
these questions all the time, and they always say, "Yeah, that's the proof we want," but then they still deny students. So it's very tricky in
Mm,
how you explain your ties to Ghana.
okay.
Right out of high school, you have nothing. You have no properties.
Mm,
Your
mm,
mom and your dad is literally the only ties you have in Ghana.
mhm.
And they know that mom and dad is not really at the point you are 18 years old, they know that ties is a little bit
Okay.
shrinking.
Okay.
So
I
that's
think
where
the
the
one of the main
program,
issues is about funding. Once you don't have the correct bank statement to support your application, they
mhm.
will deny you. So
the
before
correct
you even
program
go to the go on.
the correct program will help you. Making sure you have the right funding will help you. The documents you are showing them, those are the things that are going to help you in your interview. When they ask you, why did you choose America out of all the developed nations, Canada, Australia, all these places, why do you choose America? You need to give them a valuable answer.
Mm,
These things, that's what helps.
okay.
That's what helps.
Yeah. And I also think that once you're applying to a school in America, give yourself grace and do some backup. Get another
Um,
school in Europe. For instance, there are schools in Sweden that offer 100% scholarship. I don't even know why Ghanaian students don't even think about Sweden. Sweden gives 100% scholarship.
Sylvia, I'm
Some
here. I'm here to push America, not for just Sweden for
I
now.
know you want to push America, but I mean, just as a backup, because of the visa issues that some of the people have complained about, the difficulty in securing it. So your backup plan will be Sweden, 100%. They will even give you a ticket. Norway will give you partial. Norway now has canceled tuition fees, but at least they have other funding that you can tap into. Okay. Germany, Dad Foundation. I've done a video on that. Dad, they give huge 50%, sometimes 80% scholarship. Look for that so that you have a backup. A lot of people are getting frustrated. A lot of young people are getting frustrated. You don't need to. Once you're applying to a US school, get a backup. All right. And that will put you in the best position. But let's answer some of the questions. Somebody wants to know what's Snap says if I'm applying with an HND, can I apply for a master's program in your school?
Not in my school. It will be difficult because once again, unless West classifies your HND program as a bachelor's degree, you will be missing that step.
Okay.
So you would probably end up doing a little bit of top up, taking some classes, and in addition, for you to get a degree before you
Okay.
can then move into the graduate
Okay.
graduate
Okay.
level.
So Kwame Snaps, that's your answer right there. Kwesi Benjamin says, if yeah, I have been admitted into one of the universities in the US. I'm married with 4 kids, also have a secured loan of 41,000, and I still have strong bank statement. Who is into STEM education? Will I still be denied? No, you are likely to get it. You have a STEM background, you have family, you have ties at home. It's likely you come, you have a good bank statement. Please apply.
Xavier, don't tell him no because the US embassy, nobody knows their mind. The way their mind works, I'm not kidding.
But
There's
it's good
no
to give him some
pinpointing
kind
any
of
of this.
encouragement that he's likely
Yes,
to get it.
going
Mhm.
for him. He has a lot going for him. Kwesi Benjamin, I would advise that if you can get a letter from your current employer stating that your job is there for you, it's an agreement they have entered with you to go and study for a year or two and come back to your job with a promotion or something, a letter, something that tells them you will still have your job when you come back and all these things. That would It's always better to go to the war with so many weapons than to go missing some things. You have a lot going for you. The loan, great. But you said you also have strong bank statements, so that's also good. Having a wife and 4 kids, that's good. Take your marriage certificate.
Yeah. But Kwesi Benjamin, we hope we've done you a good service. Ado Kwesi says, what is the minimum amount of financial statement you need to submit as a bank statement? Ama.
As a graduate student for my school, it depends on your program. Graduate, like I said, graduate students get their tuition, in-state tuition, which is much cheaper. So the tuition off benefit is like 50% off for graduate students. So it depends on your program and the cost.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
would like to pull the website and then we will go through it, but other people have questions. Visit
Yeah.
weaver.edu and look at that.
Yeah. Okay. So the opportunities are there for you. So Thomas and Pierre. Thomas says, please, is public health considered a STEM program in your school?
Public health.
Not
No.
exactly. But you still get the
No.
scholarship, you 8,000 scholarship,
Yes,
right?
the scholarship is not determined by the program you're studying. It's
Mhm.
everybody for undergraduate program. Everybody gets that. Okay,
Mm,
everybody gets reviewed for a scholarship. It doesn't matter what program you're studying.
okay.
Public health is one of those ones that can. It's a healthcare job. Can also keep you here for a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. A lot of people, America is in need of healthcare workers. So if that's also an area you are pursuing, even if you pay tuition and you don't get 100% school, I will encourage you to do it, because at the end of the day, when you get to work, you'll be able to pay back everything that you have spent on your education. Brian, he wants to find out, what about diploma? How do you call it? Diploma is usually associate degree in the US. It's
That's
usually an associate degree.
That's
Yeah.
what I will call that. That's an
Mhm.
associate degree. So if you already have an associate's degree, do
Mhm.
not apply for another associate's program.
Mhm.
Apply for a bachelor's program.
Mhm.
If you
Mhm.
already have a diploma in Ghana, trust me, don't go there with an associate's I-20. Go with a bachelor's I-20. So
Okay.
therefore, I would also like to say that for those of you that are getting, because these days we are issuing electronic I-20s, we're not doing them paper formats anymore. Those of you that are making edits, just so you know, when we create an I-20 for you in the system, the US Embassy has access to the system. So what I've written in the system is what they're looking at. And
Mhm.
that's very bad for you. If you've gone and taken the PDF that we have sent you, your school has sent you, and you've edited that, you are a dishonest person, and I'm telling you, there's a ban on, if you have done that, they've caught you, and there's a ban on you for 10 years. After that 10 years, the reason is because the student visa is not a right, it's a privilege. They choose to give it to you or not. And you will never know why. So please, let's try and refrain from the document fraudulent. We are sending so many fraudulent documents to the embassy, to schools. It's giving Ghana a very bad name right now. So the I-20, it's a system, it's a shared system between the US and us. If I give you $8,000 in scholarship and you go and take the PDF I give you and you edit it and say I gave you $20,000 in scholarship, they can see in the system I gave you $8,000 in scholarship. There's a discrepancy over there. And so they would definitely deny you, and then your record is spoiled with the US. Okay.
I think this is a very, very important issue. And I was in the beginning when we started the program, I gave you guys this feedback that all of you who are sending me messages saying, "Oh, if yeah, we've been denied US visa," this is where it's coming from. Some of our own brothers and sisters have gone to the US embassy with fake documents. The I-20 is the admission letter that the school gives you to the embassy for your student visa. When it is emailed to the students, some of them take the PDF, edit it, and take it to the embassy. Already, when the school gives it to you, there's a copy at the embassy. If you edit it, the embassy will catch you. And if you go there and they deny, they won't tell you that because we have seen that you have faked your bank statement or you have faked your I-20. They will
They
not tell
give
you,
you that
but they
generic
will deny you. You see, but not only would they deny you, you have destroyed somebody else who also has potential to go to the embassy as a student. You have destroyed their chances. So I beg you, we don't want to destroy our reputation in the embassies, but we are getting a very bad name at the US embassy. And number two, check your social media before you go for visa interview.
but
Whether
you
it's
can
B1
see.
interview you are going for or student visa interview, check your social media. If you have attacked, you have done any video, when we are young, we get carried away. You just do a video, you insult this celebrity, especially attack on women, attack on LGBT people and all those things. It's not your business. You are not God. It's not everything that you have to comment. Delete it before you go to the embassy. Because
Delete.
once you go to the
Yeah,
embassy,
deleting it doesn't help.
I know
There's
it doesn't
a
help, but at
method
least
there.
you delete it for now.
Like whatever you put on social media, the internet never forgets. When you are filling out the forms these days, the visa application forms ask you for your social media handles. You're gonna give them that information because you want to be honest, and they will find whatever they want to find, and they will use that against you, and they will not even tell you this is why we denied you your visa.
Yeah.
So
Henry Dama, he says, I'm a law graduate and want to and I want to. I think you say you want to do. I want to do LLM. So can I? So I can practice. Okay. Well, the LLM doesn't allow you to practice. You have to pass the bar. All right. You have to pass the bar in the US, like in Ghana. You can do LLM in Ghana. You have to pass the bar before you can practice. So if you want to
the
pass the
Ghana
bar,
bar is Makola, right?
yeah, the bar is Makola, what we call Makola in Ghana. Yeah. So that's the bar in the US and in other countries, it's called the bar as well. So, but there are a lot of other schools that do LLM from New York to DC to Utah, the law schools. I can send you are on YouTube. I will send you a list of schools that do that. For instance, New York, you have to do in person LLM. You cannot do online, but in other schools, in other states, US is a federal state, so all the laws for the bar are different for individual states.
State.
Elizabeth, do you have a law program in your school?
We don't. We
Yeah.
don't. We have pre-law.
Okay.
We
Okay.
don't have a law degree program.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I will be doing an interview with one of the law schools in the next couple of weeks. So we'll be talking about LLM, we'll talk about JD, and we'll talk about other ones too, and how foreign students, because they have special programs for foreign students who just want to do LLM and practice law in the US and in other countries. They have it. So I'll be bringing them very soon. And this man says, I want the code that will be used to get the application fee waiver. Please, we don't have a code, and they don't give application school fee waiver at Weber
Weber
State.
State,
You
we
have to
don't
pay
give,
the
but there
application.
are schools that will give you. Weber
Mhm.
State, I'm sorry, we will not give you an application fee waiver. But there are so many schools in the US, mostly private institutions, they will waive the application fee for you.
Okay. Or if you want application fee waiver to check out the community colleges. I've done a video on community colleges. the community colleges will also help you if you are undergrad. All right, that's also another
That's
option
yeah.
for you. Yeah.
Community colleges will you end up with an associate degree, which you can after your associate degree. What we don't know, most Ghanaians, what we don't take advantage of is after you're done with your associate degree, you will get 1 year of working. So after associate degree, take that 1 year work. You can, if you took a STEM program, you can choose to opt for your 2 year STEM program. Then you can do 3 years of working there. Then go and do bachelor's degree for 2 years. Then work 1 more year, and you have the chance to use your STEM extension twice in your course of 2 times. So you can use it at the associate level, at the bachelor's level, or you can use it at the bachelor's level and at the master's level.
Mhm.
3 years, 3 years. That's
Mhm.
that's
A lot of
the
people, I've done a video explaining that issue, because a lot of people know there's an advantage in choosing community colleges,
yeah.
especially for the parents
If you are
and
coming
guardians.
fresh out of high school,
Yes,
community college. If you are
community
coming
college.
fresh out of high school, do that one.
Mhm.
It doesn't go against you. It's not a negative thing. If you go there and they ask you, you can talk about the low cost of attendance. You can talk about using that to community colleges not being so big. They're usually very small, which means you will have focused attention when you are studying, which will help you because the US study system is different from the Ghanaian study system. So you are using the community college experience to prepare you for when you go into the
Mhm.
full a 4 year college to
Okay.
finish your degree.
Okay.
There's
In
so many
fact,
ways to answer these questions. You
mhm.
just need to think about it
Yeah.
and
In fact,
prepare.
last week we did a whole session with one of the community colleges in Nevada and in Las Vegas. So that video is on my Facebook. You can look at it. There's so much opportunity. If I were SHS student now, I didn't know this information when I was growing up. If I knew it, I would apply for community colleges. Okay, because it's easy to get in. The fees are cheaper. For a semester, you can be paying like 2,000, 3,000. Your parents can do susu and at least afford that. It gives you a longer time after community. Your visa is still valid. Okay. Then after that, you apply for a full degree, which is 4 years. Your visa is still valid. Nobody will chase you. You don't have any immigration problem. You can still work 20 hours a week. All right. You buy yourself time and you make sure you study and you do well so that a company will recruit you. Okay. And then you can at least help your parents back, at home. Frederick Opon has a question. He says, if you're oh, okay. It says, I would like to ask a very critical question concerning the visa interview. I'm a beneficiary of a scholarship studying in India, but I'm not interested in the program. Because of this, I applied to some US colleges and universities, which I'm admitted into many. I'm currently working on visa acquisition, but I want to know whether the visa officer will deny my visa because I haven't completed my studies. Well, I can tell you, I'm not. And we can all tell you, we are not visa officers. So I think you're asking us to go on a frolic, which I will not do it. So this Danny wants to know the name of the school. We are doing Weber State University today. Weber
Mistake.
State University today. Okay. So Peggy Acracy says, um I'm done. I think you want to say I'm done with my Bachelor of Education in Basic Education. What course can I offer in the university? Again, you can read, please. We are students,
Master's
so
program.
the idea is read about some of these things. Read. If you read, because we can't choose the program for you, right? All right. So read, and then you can appreciate which one best suits you and your situation. All right, and that will.
Because in the end, you're the one that will speak to it at your interview.
Mm-hmm,
We can't force you. We're telling you STEM programs are the most popular.
mm-hmm.
If you don't have a STEM head and that's not what you want to do, you're not a science, technology, engineering, or mathematics person like me, don't go and choose a program you can't speak to. Choose whatever you can speak to, whatever you are passionate about, and then make your case when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting question, this
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. So he's asking whether he can go to school with a B1 visa. Hmm.
No, not as an international student. Okay, so here's the thing. A B1 visa is a visitor's visa. When you come into the US, you have 180 days to stay, and then after that, you should leave. Within that 180 days, you can apply to a school, get admitted, and then ask. you can change your status. Okay, you can apply to the US government and say, I've been admitted to this school, I came for a visit, I got admitted to this school, I'd rather like to be a student now, please change my status from B1 to B2 within that 180 days. You don't do that after that 180 days has expired and you've overstayed. Okay, the US government will now make a decision whether they'll give you the F1 status or they'll deny it. Whilst that is going on, you can't leave the country. You cannot leave the US at all. Okay. Um, the US government will decide whether they'll give you the B1, B2, the F1 visa, F1 status, immigration status. Your visa wouldn't change, but they will decide if they'll give you the F1 status. If they give you that F1 status, you are an F1 student. Your B1 is not what is keeping you in the US anymore. Your F1 status is what would then keep you in the US. At my school, you cannot study unless you're studying a certificate program. You're coming for a short certificate program. You cannot get an I-20 for a certificate program. And so you will use a B1, B2 to come do, maybe it's a 3 months course to do that.
Okay. So speak to the school, because some of the schools also make it a condition that before they give you admission as an international student, you need to show that you have an F1 visa. So speak to the school, send an email to them and talk to them. Others will
Yeah,
also not, they don't mind once you have admission. And then
if
like Elizabeth is saying, once you come in, you can apply to the immigration. They will
yeah,
amend your
so with
status.
your B1, B2 visa, what if you send me an email and say, hey, hi, Elizabeth, I have the B1, B2 visa. I would like to come to your study in your school. I'll ask you, are you trying to get an F1 status? Because B1, B2 doesn't stop you from schooling. They will admit you. You'll be considered undocumented in the school, and you will go to school and everything. But do you really want to overstay your B1, B2 visa? Don't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
This B1, B2 visa has given you credibility. Do your visit, go back to Ghana, apply for an F1, you get that visa.
Yeah, yeah. So that would be the best option. Do your visit, go back, get your B1, and that will even show that, oh, you are somebody who travels and returns.
Mhm.
Okay, and so you are likely to get your student visa, because it's one of the key things that the embassy use for people. Love for Jesus Christ sentiment. So what is challenging is to get the appointment date in Ghana. Well, that one we don't know anything about it. You have
Yeah.
to talk to whoever is in charge of the appointment date. We
I
cannot
want to
say
say,
yeah, and
Cynthia, the appointment dates are crazy. But students, you can ask for an emergency appointment
yeah.
in Ghana. You
People
can ask
don't know
for
that.
emergency appointment. So ask for an emergency appointment. Another thing is also try one of the countries around. You can get a US visa from any country. You don't have to go to your own country to get your US visa. You can travel if you have a Schengen visa, go to Spain and get your US visa. That's fine.
Mhm. So that's another trick you can. A lot of Ghanaians were going to Cote d'Ivoire, and then some people went to mess up Cote d'Ivoire there with fake documents. The same Ghanaians, oh, you see our brothers, we are the same people. Oh Lord. So this guy has a question. Tina, okay, this young lady, Tina Nyako, I said, please, I have gained admission in Central Michigan University, but unfortunately, I haven't gotten a scholarship yet. Empower and other financial programs do not support my school. Well, so get another school. It's not by force that you stick to one school. We are talking about Webers State University. You get 8,000 scholarship. So why are you stuck with a school that is not, we are not getting funding? Move to another school that will give you funding. All right. And then you go to it's all about simple ways. That's our job here. We are showing you simple ways to get it, to just do what you have to do. Get an opportunity for yourself. Don't stress yourself. There's it's not just one school in America or in Canada or in Europe. There are so many schools. So get yourself, another option, right? Rufus, okay, Rufus, I think I think we've answered your question, so you've deleted it. Saeed Karim says, I have a brother who has a certificate in hardware and networking and have a certificate in cyber security, and he uses the certificate to get community colleges and study for network. Can he use? Yes, you can use it. You can, in fact, some of the community colleges here, like those we spoke to last week in Nevada, they accept IPMC certificates and all that, and you easily get into the community college, and then we can take it from there. Okay, so focus on that as well. Then this young man, Don, he says he doesn't understand what is STEM program. We should explain. Hey, boss. I think we have a problem. STEM is just science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That's all. Okay, so if you have done any of these programs or you are interested in these programs, you are likely to get a scholarship because there's good funding for all those programs. It's because the world is moving there. I mean, you've heard politicians speaking about electric cars and all that, IA and all that. The world is moving there. So if you do any of those courses, you are likely to get funding. You are likely to get even the visa interview because the embassies also know that these are, the emerging technologies. All right. So getting there gets yourself at least one, foot in the door. Jay Lawrence says, please, do they do PhD? He's asking whether you have PhD in your school. Do you have
My
PhD in your school?
Unfortunately, my school only has like 2 PhD programs.
Okay.
Like I said, my school is not postgraduate focused, we're undergraduate focused. A
Okay.
school in Utah that I will recommend for PhD, and it has a lot of Ghanaians, so many Ghanaians.
Mhm.
University of Utah has a lot of PhD programs.
Okay.
There are a lot of Ghanaians there doing PhD. Like, Sister, I'm telling you, I go to that school, I go to some of their
And
events,
it's
and
like
I'm looking at
macula
these
in the
Ghanaians.
corner of your eye.
I'm studying a PhD in nutrition, this. I'm like, hey, no joke. There's so many
Yeah.
Ghanaians. University of Utah, I will recommend University of Utah in Utah to you.
Okay, so AJ, University of Utah. But I will also say that if you want a PhD that will give you some money in your pocket, stipend, target Europe. Germany gives you 3,000 to 3,500 a month. Stipend, free. Your school materials are not part of it. They'll give you everything. Okay, but they give you 3,000 to 3,500. Sweden does the same thing. Norway will give you 2,500 in your pockets just to study your PhD because they see PhD as a job. It's a full-time job, right? So that's also another option for you. Like I'm saying, our job is to give you all the options. Iman Osafo, you are giving me your WAEC results. I won't put it on the screen because that's not fair. So what I will do is I will do a one-on-one Zoom session where we'll look at individual transcripts and all that. Register for that one-on-one session, and then we can take it from there. Okay. And somebody's talking about the challenging appointment dates. Yes, I've told you that we don't do that, so we can't do anything about. Pauline Azuma, it says we didn't ask your question. Pauline, ask your question again. Okay. Leslie, you have a question. Say, can someone with good grades in building technology and technical school be admitted for a bachelor program? Why not?
Yes. And we actually have a construction program in my school,
Mhm.
building and construction program. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And with that, you can also head towards the architecture route if that's something you're interested in. So
mhm,
building technology, and that's a diploma, right?
yeah, it is.
Someone with good grades in building technology from technical school. Oh, that's high school.
It's high school.
Okay. Um, yes, it's available. You can speak to it. You go there and they ask you, why are you going to study building technology? That's what I did in high school, and I would like to further my studies in it. Who builds better things than America? The skyscrapers and all these things. You want to learn. You want to bring that knowledge back to Ghana. While Sister Fia is
Okay.
looking for questions to ask, I want to chime in 3 questions that I'm telling you, by hook or crook, you'll be asked
At the
when you go.
embassy.
Form, you will get these questions. Why this school? Why this program? Why why the US? And then the last one, who's paying? Those 4 questions. I'm sorry, 4 questions. You will definitely be asked these questions. You need to solidify your answers. Most people, they ask them these 4 questions and they don't get any more questions and they get their visa. Some people get asked these 4 questions and they just get denied. So, master these 4 questions because you will get asked, whether you like it or yes, you will be asked, why the US? Why this specific school? And then also, why this major? Why this program? Why do you want to study this program? And what are your intentions after school if they ask you that? And then who's paying? How do you plan on paying for this schooling that you are going to? Because they know schooling in the US is not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
How do you plan on doing it? And mind you, the consul officers, they are living in Ghana with you. They
Yeah.
know the economic situation we are going through right now in Ghana. So if you're standing there with an I-20 that's costing $90,000 a year, and maybe they gave you $5,000 in scholarship, they're looking at 85,000, and you have gone to collect an Empower loan of 85,000. That person's looking at you like, do you know what $85,000 is?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's help ourselves, okay? Nothing stops you from applying to 100 schools and collecting I-20s from 100 schools. Do that, and then pick whose I-20 is going to help you the most.
Mm-hmm.
And pay the city's fee for that, and then go to the embassy with that I-20.
Okay.
When you go there, sometimes some question, a random question that you might be asked, did you apply to other schools? Yes. Then you can tell them the list of schools you applied to. And then you can tell them why you chose the school. Okay, those 4 questions, work on it. Those 4 questions, work and specialize the answers for those 4 questions.
Okay. So I've put this number on the screen. You can register for we have a one-on-one session we'll do on Zoom. So that's when we'll get to look at your transcript. So bring your transcripts. Okay, you have the admission officers one-on-one. We'll look at your transcripts, give you advice, do this, do that. Okay, this program, this is what your undergrad is saying, this is what your WAEC results is saying. This one is good for you. If you are SHS graduate, bring your mother. If you are fresh, your auntie who is sponsoring you, your uncle, bring them so that we can do one-on-one session. One-on-one session. All right, we'll do it on Zoom. Okay, so you can take the number and text the number and register for it. We'll do it that one-on-one instead of the general question and answers that you do. Sylvester Adreban says sometimes you are asked to define the program you are going to study. My second question running my interview was, what is quantitative finance? Because I had told the officer earlier that I was coming to study quantitative finance. Yes, but that's reasonable. If you say
Yes,
you are going
that's
to
a
study
very reasonable
quantitative
question.
finance and they ask you what quantitative finance is, you should be able to come up with it. I remember, I think my first visa interview at the US Embassy, at the time they were, so they had this old US embassy in Osu Ari, Oxford, just behind the Oxford, around Oxford Street area. And I think I was going for a conference or a study program or something like that. And they asked me, I think what I was doing at the time, I think I was a student, but I was reporting for National Reconciliation Commission. So they asked me, so who are the chairperson of the who is the chairperson of the National Reconciliation Commission? And I gave them the entire squad, the entire people who are, and then the director was, okay, what kind of visa do you want? And I didn't know anything because he knew that I knew more than he was asking me. He says, I work with National Reconciliation Commission. That's where I report. Who is the chairperson? I gave him the entire board. Okay, so if you say you're applying for this course, at least the reasonable thing would be read about it before your visa interview. At least sometimes
That's
we are the reason why they deny us. Oh.
that's why
Read about it. Don't go into the embassy and stand there like a zombie. You say you are going to study maths. They ask you what is quantitative mathematics. You don't know. Then why are you going to school? Study about it. You want to study law. They ask you, okay, what is Nimo dat? Nimo dat in Kosa Swa. You don't know. Okay. You say you want to study English. They ask you about Shakespeare. You don't know Shakespeare. They ask you about Ama Ataedu. You don't know Ama Ataedu. And you are going to study English. Like, seriously. You need to research the topic. If you are going to do cybersecurity, data entry, IA, read about it. In artificial intelligence, how is it being used? Don't just go to the embassy and stand there like a zombie, please. You disgrace us and you make all the talking we are doing on this platform waste of time, and we don't want it to. We want you to take advantage of education and change your life, because the Chinese people, Thailand, India, they are using it and they are taking over America. All right, Ama, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was wondering, Sylvester, did you get the visa? I just want to know.
Okay, he didn't
Were
say,
you
but
able to,
I have to ask. I
were you
have to
able
ask
to
you.
talk about the program, and were you able to get the visa?
Okay.
This is also one of the reasons why nobody should choose your program of study for you. Why? Sometimes it's passion. You have a passion to study English. That's why you are going. You want to study English. The passion will even speak for you better than anything else. So don't let anybody decide what you should go and study. STEM is the most popular. We're not saying everybody should go and do STEM. If that's what you are interested in, if you're interested in a program that falls within the STEM field, then great. But it doesn't mean everybody has to study that. You need to be able to speak to these things. Like I said, 4 questions. That question falls under why this school and why this program.
Okay. So that's what we've given you. Don't go and mess up. Choose a subject that you're comfortable with, that you can answer the questions when you go to the embassy and you are asked questions. So Pauline, I think you came back with your question. It says, I'm qualified to do masters in counseling. Are you I don't understand your question. Or have you done the masters already?
Am I
I'm
qualified to
qualified to
do
do
masters?
masters in counseling and counseling psychology with 2 years bachelor degree in educational psychology, second class upper.
So she wants to know if she's
Okay, am
qualified
I
to.
qualified? Okay. She wants to know. Okay.
Well, yeah, you can find that program, apply to it, give them your degree. If that school you're looking at doesn't have a WES requirement or transcript evaluation requirements, they will need your transcript from the university in Ghana. Give it to them, and they will make their decision. Graduate programs are not the easiest to get in. Graduate programs are hard to get in. That one is true. Graduate programs are hard to get in. They have
Mm,
requirements, and you just have to fulfill them. You either fulfill them and get admitted, or you don't fulfill them and they just say bye.
okay. So that's the thing. Graduate programs are, but you can try, and do follow all the steps we have given you, and you'll be good. You'll be good. Danso is talking about, please, is computer networking classified under the STEM? I think so. Is it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Please Google, because I've seen a lot of those questions, and I'm like, Google. Anything engineering is under STEM. Okay, anything computer engineering, computer science, any type of engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, those are all STEM programs. All the sciences, biology, physics, mathematics, botany, microbiology, these are STEM programs. Just Google this
Okay.
one. Don't ask if you have this question.
You are already getting frustrated, but sometimes you've answered the questions
Hey,
already, but
wait,
you still.
Sylvester is back with his answers. Stefia,
Okay.
please put it there. It's
Okay.
interesting.
Okay, so let me go to Abubakar. Abubakar, before I forget about him, he said, "Is it possible to get into masters in media and communication studies with a scholarship?"
Yes,
It is possible. It
yes.
is possible,
Well,
but
our
you need
school
to.
has it. It's called professional communication.
Okay, so they
It's
have it
called
in
different
Weber
things in
State.
different schools.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes, yes.
she said it's possible you can get in, so start your application process. So I'm not seeing his answer.
Oh, Sylvester,
No.
Stefia.
Sylvester,
Okay,
okay, maybe let me go up. Let me go up slightly. Okay. Sylvester, your answer was okay. It says, I was denied. Okay, it says I was denied for the first time because someone scammed me with my CV's fee. The person collected money and gave me fake receipts, so I was denied in July. But I got a new I-20 from another school, and I was asked the question during my second attempt in November last year, and I was granted a visa. I'm currently in Oklahoma State University. I reported less than a month ago. That's a good one there. That's a good one there. That's a good one.
see,
It's a
I'm
good
sure
one there.
it's some Ghanaian that scammed him. I'm sure it's
Oh,
some.
definitely to be your countryman. I mean,
Uh, with the question about the CVS fee payment, someone also asked, "How do you pay the CVS fee from Ghana?" Go to a bank that can make a cashier's check. There's instructions on the website. Ghana, we can't make direct payment online with cards because of fraud again. So they won't let us use credit card to pay the service fee. So if you know someone in the US that you can give the money to and then they'll pay for you here, they can do it here for you. If not, go to a bank in Ghana. They'll make a money order, cashier's check, or money order for you. You will mail it DHL to the address they gave you with the information they required, and that's it. Your service fee will be done as soon as they get it, and you will be able to print your receipt online. Let's from fraud like this. I'm so happy for you, Sylvester. Congratulations and welcome.
yep. It's so beautiful. I'm happy that
Yeah.
you got in. It shows that at least we're getting somewhere with it. So Kaka, And I think there's a very important question that this young man is asking, which is that he has third class. Can he get a master's abroad? Look, in America, in Europe, in Canada, nobody cares about your third class. All right, it only becomes crucial when you're applying for a scholarship because there's always a cap on that. All right, but if you have a very good personal statement and it shows maybe why you had a third class, maybe there were circumstances around it and all that, it's open for everybody. Just make a good case for yourself. Make a good case for yourself. What do you say?
Evans, Evans, what I would say is you have a hurdle in front of you. You have to do a lot of research to find a school that has more lax rules than others. Like I said, graduate programs are always tough to get into, but some schools' rules are tougher than other schools. You need to find a school that has lax rules, more relaxed rules. If the school has a cap on how many students get admitted into that program, your third class will not help you because someone with a first and second class will get in before they'll be,
Before you
and
get
they'll
in.
probably meet their max, the number of students they need for that program. And so you need to do a lot of research. Research is what is going to help you.
Okay, so let's end it here. We've already spent over an hour. I think we've done our best job to answer all your questions. The other one, take the number I posted. Text that number. They are arranging a Zoom one-on-one session. So that's like a personal coaching session where you can get to show your transcript, show your results. We'll tell you these are the programs available to you. If you have an undergrad, this is the reason, this is why you have, this is your GPA, all that. We'll do a one-on-one on Zoom. We'll do a one-on-one on Zoom. So
Sister
join
Dia,
us. Yeah,
Sylvester is back with
he's back.
more
Okay.
response. Please find Sylvester's response and put there.
Yeah, that means we'll go beyond the time and we don't want to because we have already taken a lot of time. So, but Sylvester, we are happy that you got in. Or he's saying something else.
He
Um,
said it was actually a Ghanaian who scammed him, and he had to get a police report. He had to get a report from the police. The person got arrested. He took that police report with him to his second interview. If you have been bounced one interview already, your second interview, they are going to ask you what has changed. So Sylvester had that going for him. They would definitely ask you what has changed from your first interview that you think will help you. So Sylvester was able to say, my first interview, I was scammed in the payment of my CV's fee. The person was arrested. Here's the report to show that I was scammed. So I'm just so excited to hear about Sylvester's story.
yeah, very, very, and it's unfortunate that as Ghanaians we do this to ourselves. I mean, once we see that somebody is in trouble, and sometimes we blame politicians, but we are all the same, right? If we have rainfall in Ghana, automatically all drivers start charging high because there's a hunch. It shouldn't be so. If people want to apply to study abroad, why scam the person? If you can help, help. If you have a fee you have to charge your decent fee. But to scam the person, I mean, I know that things go around, and comes around at the same time. So, Godwin Edu Anoche was asking about, he says, I just joined a STEM program. Godwin, go back and watch the video. We've answered all those questions. Leo Ima says, I've passed all my questions when I was asked at the visa interview. And lastly, I was asked whether I've had international travel before, and I responded in the affirmative. And the consular looked at my old visa and consulted the other consular and returned back and told me that sorry, without giving me any reason for denying me the visa. Well, they are not obliged to give you any reason.
They're not.
That's the thing. They are not obliged to give you any reason. That's why we are saying that if you pass all your questions, of course, you wouldn't know if you pass all your questions.
Yeah.
Okay. She's asking you the question and she's listening to the answer. So how would you know you pass? All right. And two, we've spoken about check your social media. A lot of us are doing things all over the place. We are not even realizing that on your application form, visa application, they ask for your social media. Go back and check. Maybe something you have said. You have posted married on your visa application is single, you'll be denied. That's dishonesty. That's how they interpret it. It means you have lied on your visa application. Okay, you have posted something else on your Facebook. You are this, you are that. You went to that school, and they check on your application. You don't have all that information on your application, or it's contradicting. It will flag. They will deny you. but they are not obliged to give you the reason. So they will not tell you. Or, this DV visa lottery, there were lots of these Ghanaians whose brothers, uncles applied DV visa lottery for them. So in the US embassy system, your name is there, okay, as having applied for DV visa lottery. On your visa application form, they ask you, have you been to the embassy before? Have you applied at the embassy before? Then you take no. It's a lie. They will deny you. So I'm seeing a lot of these people come back and say, well, I was denied. That's where it's coming from. Somebody applied DV visa lottery for you and your name went to the embassy. You didn't go there, but your name is there. Your passport is there. All right. So now you are telling the embassy that you haven't been to the embassy before. You have not applied before, but you applied. Somebody applied with you as a husband, as a boyfriend, as a fiancé. So your name is already there. Please, I start asking. The accounts will say, Kaka Utrim. If you don't do that homework, you go to the embassy who have answered all my questions. No, somebody use your name. Ask your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties in America, and those who applied for DV visa lottery for you, say that you have been there before because your records is there. But because you didn't go there, you think you haven't been there before. Please check. I know so many people who have been denied just because of this single question, okay, and answer. So like I'm saying, we're ending. You can join the Zoom one-on-one where we'll ask. Gordon wants to know, is it advisable to change B1, B2 to F1? How would you even change?
No,
How would you even
if they
change?
want to become a student, they will
Mhm.
have to change to F1 to be considered an international student. Yes, you are allowed to request that change. And we talked about it earlier on. When you initiate that change with USCIS, you won't be able to leave the country until a decision has been made. If the decision is favorable, you're good to stay and study. If the decision is not favorable, you have to leave the US immediately. Another way you can just not do that if you don't want to deal with that stress is travel with your B1, B2, stay less than 6 months, go back home,
Come back. Mhm.
apply for your F1 visa in Ghana, and then come with an F1 visa. You would have established credibility with them. But then again, the decision is up to you.
Okay, so thank you so much, all of you who sent your questions. There are a few questions that are just coming in that we can't answer. Some of them we've already answered. Kofi Kuma, you want to know about construction technology and building? Yes, that opportunity is there in Webber State. We've already said it. You can apply. They have those courses there. The STEM programs, those you call mechanics, fitters. We call them fitters, engineering, science, computer science. If you have to take a course in IPMC, do it. Whatever that will give you an edge, do it. Apply. The STEM programs are your best bet to get in and get a scholarship. These are the new areas, but do it because you love it. Because if you don't love it and you go to the embassy, it will be flagged that you are just doing allo. Okay.
She's the
You
Mrs.
really don't like it.
Daviaba, so my man shout out. Shout out Mrs. Dakwa.
Okay,
Jennifer.
Mrs. Dankwa. Mrs. Dankwa,
Dakwa.
this is okay. So thank you so much. You can join us the one-on-one. You register for the one-on-one, and then we can look at your transcript. So for the one-on-one, please, if you want to join, register, but bring in your transcript. If you have your VATSI results, bring it. All right. If you have maybe any document that you are going to use to apply, bring everything, because we have all the recruiters to help you, guide you. And there are programs. The reason why we're pushing this STEM program is that it's easy for you to get a job with the STEM program. It's easy to get your student visa. It's easy to get in. It's easy to get a work permit with the STEM programs. So don't confuse yourself.
Find jobs.
Don't confuse yourself. We are in a third world country, so we are all looking for opportunities. All right. So we want you to put your foot forward and do it. So just text that number and you'll get into it. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is the Assistant Director of International Admissions at Webers University in Utah, in America.
Weber
So
State
she's Weber
University.
State. So she's talking as an admissions officer. She's the one who's going to admit you. She's the one who's going to look at your application. So next week she'll be on. Other schools will be on. We'll look at one-on-one, so that we can look at personally. We'll personalize it. All right. So just text the number and register, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much for joining us, Elizabeth. Thank
You're
you.
welcome,
And
Stacey.
thank
Thank
you
you.
all for joining us today. We'll come back again another time. If we didn't answer your question, sorry, we'll answer it another time. Thank you so much and good day.